Gwabbit solves a problem that has bugged me forever, which is when somebody sends me an email and it has a contact in the signature line, if I want to put that contact into my address book, I have to cut and paste it one line at a time. And it takes forever to do that. And what I wanted was a gadget that would tell me when I got an email that, hey, there's a contact in this email, do you want me to put it in your address book? And then I could just click a button and it would do that. On average, it takes about 1 minute and 15 seconds, the old-fashioned way, to cut and paste contact information versus about 5 seconds with Gwabbit. So how does this translate into time and money? Well, if you're in a 1,000-person organization and each person saves on average 100 contacts per year, which is not very much, that actually translates to 2,000 hours saved per year. That's the equivalent of an entire employee. Gwabbit is compatible with Microsoft Outlook as well as BlackBerry smartphones. So this gives users a tremendous amount of flexibility, not only to capture contacts in their office, but also while they're on the road. What's the difference between Gwabbit for Outlook and Gwabbit for BlackBerry? From the user's perspective, they're virtually identical. When you get an email, the Gwabbit alert pops up, says, there's a contact in this email, do you want me to put it in your address book? And then you just click and it saves. What's going on behind the scenes is a little bit different. On Gwabbit for Outlook, everything is happening on the laptop or the PC. In Gwabbit for BlackBerry, we're actually augmenting the BlackBerry device with a remote server where we're doing additional processing. So this, I think, illustrates some of the power behind the technology, where we can either do it locally or we can also do distributed processing on remote servers. I think a lot of people don't even realize how many contacts they work with. I have thousands of contacts in my Rolodex, and it's a tremendous hassle, not just capturing that information, but also managing it. And I actually know lots of business people who have tens of thousands of contacts that they capture and manage. So the capture and management of contacts is a huge problem that we're trying to tackle with Gwabbit. What are our future plans for Gwabbit? Basically, we're taking a dual track. One track is additional Gwabbits for additional devices, and Gwabbit for iPhone is going to be the next device out the door, and then after that we'll have Gwabbits for additional devices and platforms. The other track is a contact cloud, and this speaks to a different problem that we're trying to solve. I think that there is a real need for a universal remote control, if you will, for contact management. Right now, you have contacts in lots of different places. So you have contacts in your address book, you've got contacts in your CRM and Salesforce and LinkedIn, even in places like your FedEx online account, etc. And you have to proactively think about keeping these contacts current. And I think that what is really needed is a contact cloud fed by devices like Gwabbit that will proactively and passively keep that contact information in one place, make sure it's current, and then make sure it's current in all the different places where it needs to be. And so that's the other direction where we're headed with Gwabbit. The legend of Gwabbit. This is an amazing true story of how we got started with Gwabbit. Back in 2001, I was up to my eyeballs with my startup company at the time. It was a company called Webfeed. And I was at my computer one day and I got an email and it had contact information, and I was cutting and pasting that contact information into my address book. And I was just thinking that this is ridiculous. In the 21st century, that I'm using this brute force method to move contact information out of my emails into my address book. And I thought that there has to be a better way. And unfortunately, at the time, I was busy with my startup company, and so I didn't have the time or the money to ponder the inner workings of Microsoft Outlook. And moreover, I figured that sooner or later, Microsoft is going to solve this problem. So fast forward to 2008, I sold my company Webfeed, and so now I had time and money on my hands, and as it turns out, I really sucked at retirement, so I had to get busy again. So I looked around, and nothing had changed with respect to Microsoft Outlook. So I figured if they're not going to solve this problem, I would, and so that's how I got started with Gwabbit.